we are continuing our video series of our virtual planroom, and in this series we're going to cover getting our documents ready to be slipsheeted, logged into our revision log and everything. On this one we have RFI number 234, and you can see here in our thumbnails that we have 5 sheets that we need to get in there. In our last video we prepped all this drawings, so you can go check that out if you need to. But in this one, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we extract this. But where do we extract it to, and what numbering? How do we keep track of that? Well, we have a revision log in our virtual planroom. This one is actually called our virtual planroom drawing log. And we can see on our last one, we had an RFI number 230, and it was revision number 108. And so what we will need to do is make sure that we have a folder ready to receive these drawings. So if we go here in our live documents, we have revisions, and we have revision 108, which was our last one. So this was RFI number 234. Let's create a folder. So right click and type in Rev 0109 and then RFI, oops, let's get that right, RFI 234. So now we have our folder ready, and we know that's where we're going to be dropping them. We can go back to our drawings, and this is what we want to extract. We want to extract these 5 sheets. So just simply select them, grab the first one, hit shift, and then you'll select it, and then right click. And what we want to do is we want to extract those pages, and we don't want to delete, so make sure that you don't do that. Extract pages as separate files and use page label to name files. That's important. That will help us quite a bit later on. Update hyperlinks. We should have gotten rid of any hyperlinks, but I always uncheck that anyway. And so let's just go ahead and do that. It's going to ask, where do we want to do that? So we had in our live documents under our revisions, here's our new folder. So just select that folder, and just quick as that, it selected all of those files. So there they are. There's our 5 files that we needed. So we don't need Bluebeam anymore, so we can go ahead and close that. Now back to our drawing log. So let's go ahead and enter this information. All right, so we'll just Control D to copy above. This was RFI number 234, and that date was 11/26, and this is revision 0109, and this says posted. There we go. Now, in our drawing log, because we typed in 109, it started showing up here. You can see that we don't have anything right here on 109. Let's just backtrack a little bit. So if I undo that and go to the drawing log, you'll see that it's missing. So if I had, let's just undo that now, and we'll go back to the drawing log, and there it is again. So this is reading from the revision log. So that's pretty important to do, to know. The next thing that we need to do is we need to check each drawing in this column which was issued in this one, because you can see what it's doing is this is reading the last one. So the last revision number 7 is reading right here. So this is the current revision. And so what we want to do, our drawing sheets were A102B, A103B, 104B, and A401 and 402, and we have 5 items. So we want to just make sure that we get all those. So we had A102, A102B. So let's go find that. Oops, went the wrong way. A102B, and let's put an X there. And when we put an X there, watch this revision, that current revision, it will change. So 109, so let's put an X right there. And you can see that it changed. It's updating to the most current revision. All right, let's continue on. So A103B, A104B, and let's scroll on down to, it was 401 and 402. Now the reason that we kind of want to know that there were 5 drawings in here is if you had to do a lot of drawings, 10, 20, 30 or something like that, sometimes you might get to 29. Say you had 30 drawings. you might get 29 put in there and you just missed one. That's the reason that you want to make sure that we have this count up here correct. So this is counting how many X's are in this column, and it's counting 5. So we know, good, that's what we need. We need to make sure that we have that number right. Okay, on to the next step. So now that we have our drawing, what we need to do is we need to rename those files to have the sheet. It already has a sheet number, but we need it to have it the sheet name. And we also make sure that we add the latest revision onto it. And so how we do that is we do the file name tool. What it's going to do is it's going to import those 5 files. These 5 files that we have right here. Right now they're only sheet numbers. And so what we want to do is we want to import those files, and it's going to say which folder are you looking for. So let's go to the revisions again, 109. That's the folder that we want. It brings in those. And you can see that it's going to add from our sheet number, or from the file name, it's going to add, make sure that the sheet number is correct or it's matching up. It's going to add the sheet name as well as a revision, and here's what it's going to be. Dimension plan, second floor, 109. So if you just kind of want to see how that's going to happen, let's just dock that to the side and watch these right here. So when I hit rename files, it says complete, and you can see automatically it renamed all of those files. So that works pretty well. Now the next thing is in our set, these are 109, and we're using that to track, every RFI, or not RFIs, every sheet. So we just kind of know what revision they were. So that's kind of an internal process that we have. But what we don't have in our current set are any of these revision tags on any of those. So if we went to our architectural, you'll see that all of them have the sheet number and the sheet name, but no revisions. That's because we're using our log as our tracking log. We don't need to necessarily see all that. And it also becomes a naming issue on our slip sheeting. So we need to get all those drawings back to just the sheet number and the sheet name. So how do we do that? So let's go back to that folder that we were in. I think that was our live documents under revisions and revision number 9. So we want to bring those in. Now the next thing that we do is we don't want to rename it in this folder because we want this folder to have the revision number. So copy your drawings, and hopefully you have somewhere on your computer a temporary slip sheet folder, and mine is under temp, under my C drive, and temp slip sheet. So let's just drop that in there. Now what we're going to do is rename those. Now there's not many. We could probably just manually rename these, but if you had, again, 30 or so, that could take a long time. So let's go back to our Excel and have it do it for us. So go back to the current toolset tab now, and we want to import those files. Now this time, remember, that was in our temp folder and our temporary slip sheet, and click OK. So it brought those in, and you can see here what it's going to do is it's going to just simply remove the revision 0109. So let's hit rename files. It says it's done. Let's just go check it, and there it is. So that's how we get everything prepped and ready for slip sheeting. Join me in the next video as we use Bluebeam to slip sheet all of the drawings into our current set.